chairs there, and I was like, oh great, it's half empty. There's actually lots of people here. Hello.
Hello.
Actually, I mean, that's kind of a question to start off with. It's one thing when you're acting in front of cameras, you're surrounded by your crew and your castmates and whatnot, but when you first started doing these, did it take some adjustment to have a room full of people that are asking you questions? Not there to even see a character on stage, but there to ask you, Matt, a question. Was that an adjustment?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I started acting when I was 5 years old, so I'd sort of done interviews and local press when I was a kid, and then obviously Harry Potter became a whole different thing, and then panel Q&As like this. I'm so sorry. Can you even understand what I'm saying? I hope so. It's difficult because I was a really shy, nervous little kid. I was very similar to Neville. And I did not enjoy doing stuff like this. I think the first one of these I did when I was like 14, all that time ago. I think it was all very much just yes, no, not really, yes. That was kind of all I did for an hour. So I imagine it's incredibly dull for those poor people in those early days. I tried to elaborate a little bit more. I talk too much now. I've gone the opposite way. But yeah, you get used to it after a while. And the thing is, and this is a testament to all of you guys, is that you guys are so receptive and so wonderful. No matter where we go around the globe, no matter where we are, you guys are there and being so supportive and so friendly. I often get asked, like, do you have awful experiences with fans? Like, there must be some crazy fans, it must be awful. And I'm like, no. Like, everyone's so nice. And I think that's the Harry Potter fandom in general. Everyone is just so nice. And it's just such a positive group of people to be involved with that it makes this whole thing so much easier and so much more fun. So I told you I talk too much. Yeah. I was kind of sad about that they didn't involve Neville's backstory more, certainly. I mean, not so much with the prophecy side of things, because with movies you've only got a limited amount of time, and too many subplots can get very confusing. And when we start talking about what Neville's the chosen, what? I think people could, I could understand why they streamlined that a little bit. But I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of who Neville was and why he was. I don't think we ever really got to the bottom of that. We tried to, we wanted to, and I've mentioned it in loads of interviews that we did want to do the St. Mungo scene with his parents. We tried to, David Yates desperately wanted to, and it just got away from us, unfortunately. And that was kind of a shame because, we mentioned Neville's parents briefly in the fifth one. I think they alluded to it slightly in Goblet of Fire. But it didn't quite convey exactly what his motivation was, particularly with his overbearing grandmother and his parents. In many ways, a fate worse than what Harry went through, because yes, his parents are still alive, but they don't know who he is, and there's something really cruel about that. And that he has to face the knowledge of what Bellatrix did to them, every single day. And particularly when being confronted with her in the Ministry of Magic. And I think so much of that is really crucial to who he was and why he ended up being the hero that he was in the end. And I think that ability to come through that adversity, and he could easily have carried a chip on his shoulder. He could easily have felt that the world had dealt him a bad hand, so he was going to deal a bad hand to everyone else around him, and he just didn't. He still kept that sense of honesty, of loyalty, of goodness, and I think it takes a great deal of courage to be dealt such a poor hand and still to stay true to the cause. I think there's something very admirable about that, which a lot of people don't follow in real life. And so I would have liked to have seen more of that for Neville. I think that would have been, we would have appreciated who he was a lot more. But lucky for me, I read the books and I had all that to work with, so that helped me. But I wish that more people who haven't necessarily read the books would have got to see that about him, because I think he's such a great inspirational character, and all that feeds into how inspirational he is. Even a subjective kind of opinion on it, I just don't look at my hands like this, getting tense, like. But I can answer the first bit. The book, my favourite book, was, I think, Goblet of Fire, which I can't really give you a reason. I mean, if I was to think of a reason, it's two. One, I actually love the whole competition idea of it. If any of you know, I'm kind of a sports nerd, and I just love sport in general. And the idea of all the Quidditch stuff I loved in the books. And then so to add this whole tournament thing in there, I thought was really cool. And we got to see so much of Hogwarts that I always wondered about, the Black Lake and all this kind of stuff. I really enjoyed all that. But also, I don't know if it's the same with any of you in here, there's just something very nostalgic about, I remember, it's kind of the first one that I have really well-formed memories from. Like, the first three, I was a little too young when I was reading them. Like, I loved them, I remember liking them, but I'm not really attached to where I was in life at that age. Whereas when the fourth one came out, I can vividly remember going to the bookstore to get my pre-ordered copy with my friend Nancy Waterhouse. I remember walking home and thinking, oh, this is a big old book. This is my first real proper novel. And I took it home and I just devoured the thing. I can remember the music that I had on in my bedroom while I was reading it. I remember exactly what my duvet looked like. There's just something about that book, was the first one, that my memories are solidified of where I was in my life when I read it. And there's a certain nostalgia about that the glee that I had, the pure enjoyment of just, I've got this book and I love this so much.